Okay, hello, good evening, hello, how's it going? Let's see who is here. Did my music? I can't hear my music at all. Oh, there we go. Conan, hello, Shonis, hello, Epsilon, hello, Rorschach Inkblot, hello. Hope you're doing well too. ODM, hello. Yo, can I get a buh? Buh. Mr. Kupo, hello. Why am I in 4x3? I'm in 4x3 because it's cropped. It's a mess. Well, actually, that side's not that much of a mess anymore. But the mess is centered here, but I'm the mess, really. But mostly because it's like kitchen, living area. So just to kind of just crop that out because, you know, it's my face anyway. Is this an aesthetic choice? Not really, no. But it seems to work okay, so it's fine. Guys, can you stop saying "buh" in chat? I have cat phobia. Diego, I took my car to a shop today. Oh, cool. How did that go? The mechanic told me they couldn't fix my brakes, so they made their horn louder. Frank, hello. Mr. Inomushiki. Thank you so much for the 35 months. Alright. Anyway, good to see you all. How was my weekend? Weekend was good. Let me remember. What did I do this weekend? I went to Flushing. So if you've visited New York, Flushing is kind of like out in, you know, far out from Manhattan. It's in Queens, and basically there's a dense like Asian population around that area, but really we just went there to eat food. So my partner and I, we went out there to eat. We had rice rolls, we had jianbing, can't say that, and we had, what else did we have? We had like this tofu, savory tofu soup sort of thing. It's pretty good. We had some youtiao, some like fried dough. We just went there to eat. The plan was to just go there, check out like food places, eat, and maybe we're thinking of going to the zoo, to check out the Queens Zoo, because we have like the citywide like membership, but so it like gives you access to like all the zoos and stuff in around the city, like in the different boroughs. But no, we didn't end up going to the zoo because it was like kind of late, and like, you know, they closed like at 4 or 5, something like that. We just went around to eat basically. So that was nice. Yeah, so we just ate food. That's what I did this weekend. Just go out and eat food. Stay at home otherwise, and was just like organizing stuff. Like, you know, we have to like organize stuff because like basically the space is a little bit smaller and like the layout's different, so we just have to like put things in different places, so we're just busy kind of like doing that. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good weekend. Okay. So today's build, my friends, is this board right here. It's in this very fancy box. This is a new 1800 layout keyboard that KBDfans is coming out with. They have a sort of like chart, I think, in their website that kind of shows all the configurations, but the bottom line is I think it costs from like, how much was it? It was like $210, $250. Basically, you can get brass, carbon fiber, or stainless steel, like a cover or like a weight, I think. And then you choose like solder or hot swap, and then there's like different plate configurations that you can choose. Color wise, there's purple, raw, silver, dark blue, pine green, gray, red, black, pink, and E-coat white. And then there's like all these different options essentially. But yeah, like pricing wise, it's kind of crazy. It's like $250 essentially. So for an 1800, that's like really good. So yeah, checking that out today. All right, so I guess let's get started. And open up this box. I have not opened it at all, so shit, don't know what it looks like. So let's see. So yeah, I did see that it opens sort of like a book. So this box is super cool. Let me select like one of those that has like a specific side that you open it from. And so this one, you sort of open it up like a book. So you open it up like this, and then inside it looks like we have accessories. So these are silicone gaskets, and then we have our case bump-ons, extra screws, and then it looks like they also include a it's like taped, but it looks like they also include like a screwdriver. So they also include a screwdriver and bits. I'm gonna use my own, but just to show you, they also include the screwdriver and bits. What switches are we using today? I am not sure yet. We will choose what switches to use. So I did see that it was a 1800 layout board, and so you okay? Oh. Okay, sorry, just checking on. And so we have different plates, it looks like. I'm actually not sure what all these materials are, so let's take a look. So we have the plates and PCB over here. It looks like I have a hot swap PCB. That looks like a solid screwdriver too. Yeah. It's like one of those that has like the rotating like end too, which is nice. All right, and then we have our case over here. Looks like we have the blue case for today's build. So I'm gonna take that out first carefully here. There's a lot of foam. Oh, I think I do have a foam kit too. It's over there. I think I saw it in the box. Okay, so here's our board. So plates wise, looks like I have FR4. I'm not sure what this is. I think this is alu. Oh no, it's carbon fiber. Carbon fiber. I think this is alu. It's time to put GMK signal on it. I don't have GMK signal. Yeah, this is alu. Hey, Secret Myth. Howdy, howdy. Thank you for the 22 months. Thank you so much. And then we have polycarbonate, which is not partial actually. It's the only one that's not like split into two pieces. So these are all like split into two pieces. But this one is a full plate, just like all throughout. So this is polycarbonate. And then we have our PCB. So all the plates basically. So we kind of get the option to play around here. And then here's our hot swap PCB. It's a 1.6 millimeter hot swap PCB. Layout wise, it looks like right now it's fixed to 625U. From what I can see here, that's a 625U bottom row. That's stepped caps lock and regular caps lock available. Split and regular backspace. Split and regular left shift. That's fixed. And then ISO and ANSI enter. And it looks like the numpad section is all fixed, so you cannot split the numpad section. That's the arrow cluster right here. And then they have like a navigation cluster over here. And then we have extra 4 keys on the top as well. So 1800 layout with 625U bottom row. Hold up. Oh, hi Gam. Long time no see. Yeah. Do you move your office space? I moved apartments, so I'm in my new living room, I guess. But yeah, I moved apartments. I moved like just a couple weeks ago. Still organizing and unpacking and that kind of stuff, setting up furniture and things like that, getting new stuff. But yeah, still like settling in. But yeah, new apartment. That's why, different space. Okay, so we do need to pick the plate and the switches. And so I think first what we can do is pick out the switches, and then we can pick out the plate and then go from there, right? Obviously, if you have a certain combo in mind, you can obviously ask for it or just like talk about it. But I only have these 4 switches right now that are workable because I didn't have like more than 100 switches for certain things like that were already prepped and ready to go. So I only have 4 options here. The first option that I have is Lumen Chiastral switches. These are linears, I believe, with 3.5 millimeter bottom out, so like a long pole switch, and then 55-ish, 50 to 55-ish gram bottom out force. And then I have the Alex Otto's Granite switches. These are the TypePlus switches that Novelty's recently released. This is the first batch, so this is the pre-lube ones, factory lube ones rather. And I think these are also like 55 gram bottom out, and or I think it was right. And then these are also linear. These are 4 millimeter travel. And we did try these before, but I did not leave them on the Win Studio Alice board that we did last time. And then I do have some Nixies. These are 205 lubed with 62 gram springs and Swackey's films. And then lastly, I have these HMX 1989 game 1989 switches. These are the 80 retros ones. These are the 55 gram or 53 gram ish bottom out, 4 millimeter travel, long spring HMX switch. So also linear. So we have a variety of linear switches. Basically, we have 2 different kinds of I guess technically this is not long pole. It's like quasi long pole, or not even really. And then we have the Alex Otto's Granite switches and Nixies to choose from. So a few different switch options to choose from, and then we can go from there to picking the plate, and then I can show you guys the board. Let's see. Hey everyone, I'm new to channel. Son of Gallifrey. Hello, welcome. Are you a thocky, clicky, or creamy type of guy? I guess if I say Thocky, that's if I like Topre. If you don't know what Topre is, you should look it up. It's great. But for Thok, let's go with Topre. But otherwise, I like more clacky switches, I guess. Sorta. Is that what people call like cherry MX switches? Kind of clacky. But yeah, definitely not like super deep sounding, I suppose. And I also don't use silent switches, generally speaking. At work, I do use more like quieter builds in general, but yeah, not so much of a silent switch kind of person myself. Neither tactiles nor linears really, and I don't really use clicky switches, generally speaking. It's kind of too loud, or kind of gets obnoxious after typing on them for a bit. Okay, so let's Dr. Kupo. Ooh, Mr. Kupo, do you upgrade? All right. Let me go ahead and do a quick poll. So we can choose the switch first. Switch choice. So I have HMX game 1989. So these are all linear. All are linear. Then we have Lumen Key Astral, and then we have Alex or TypePlus Granite, and then we have Cherry MX Black Nixies. Alright, I'll let you guys vote, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a poll for the plate afterwards, okay? So go ahead and pick if you like. If you don't pick, I'll end up picking myself. Are granites the gray switches? Yeah. No. These are the HMX switches. These are the granite switches. Or, yeah, I guess they are. They're sort of like grage. They're more like beige-ish. I would say they're more like beige than gray. And then these darker gray with purple or violet, or rather magenta, I guess. Ones are the HMX 1989 switches. Wow, looks like this poll is kind of, it's a little slow. So it's like 8 votes-ish. So it's a tight vote though between the granites and the MX Cherry MX. Okay, so it's between the Nixies and the granites. Potentially. Can we get a sound comparison? Sure. How do I do this? Guess maybe the easy way is to just grab a plate. I'll just grab this, I guess this carbon fiber one. Just pop them into a plate. I mean, obviously these are like out of a keyboard sort of sound. But yeah. Maybe I can just grab some keycaps from here. Anything new? I mean, moving was really the newest thing for me. So, I like my neighborhood. It's been pleasant getting used to the new neighborhood, and lots of food options around here, and they're actually cheaper. So lots to enjoy. So yeah, but also neighborhood's pretty nice. I'm also like in more, like I guess better proximity to things. So I also have like access to like protected bike lanes, so I can like bike around and stuff like that. Other than that, like no, not much else. Just like kind of settling in and buying stuff for the house, and getting accustomed and settling in. Doing alright though. Yeah, I heard $3 tacos. Yes. The tacos are cheaper here, so I've been enjoying that. All right, so here is. I guess I'll mute the music. So here we have the Granite switches, and then here we have the Nixies. Hold on, is it kind of loud because of the fan? I'll turn off the fan here. So kind of more muted on the granites. I think the housing is a bit more muted on the granites. So if you want to slightly more might be a little deeper on the granites, but it's a little bit more muted. More muted, but more slightly deeper sound. Whereas this one you get a little bit more clack, especially from the bottom out of the switch. You get the most sound. I don't think you get too much sound on the top out. So they're a little bit different. I've only tried the granites like once, so my experience with them is fairly limited. Just FYI. Oh, Beals, hello. Looks like we have a pretty kind of tight opinion here between the granites and the Nixies. Should I do a tiebreaker, or should I just kind of go with my hunch? I don't know. It depends on the plate, right? I personally feel like the granites will sound pretty good on like polycarb, or maybe even alu. And I think the Nixies might sound good on carbon fiber, but maybe that's just me. I feel like carbon fiber brings sound a little bit up. And for slightly deeper sounding switches, I feel like more muted sounding switches, I think polycarb tends to go pretty nicely with them. As long as it's not like too quiet, too muted. But yeah, it just kind of varies. Kind of torn, to be honest. They're both pretty nice switches after all. Muted switches on carbon fiber make it louder. Yeah, that's actually true though. Yeah, they do bring up sound quite a bit. So granites with carbon fiber. That sounds kind of fun. That sounds fun. All right, I'll do a 1 minute poll, just to like tiebreaker, and then I'll say maybe let's go with carbon fiber as a plate, and let's just say Nixies versus granites on CF. Okay, I feel like both of them are pretty solid choices for that. So let's do carbon fiber for the plate, and do either the granites or the Nixies. So I think this is a carbon fiber plate. Yeah. Carbon fiber. think that'll be a fun choice for the build. Do we get double build tonight? Probably not. But maybe in the near future, if I get some extra time, I could do a second build. But I do have a bit of a tight schedule in the next week. So we'll see. It's a tie again! Alright. It's a tie again. It's a tie again. It's a tie again. Okay. I guess I'll just make an executive choice here. Carbon fiber. I did kind of like the idea of the granites. I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn. Both of them are pretty nice. Let Kiwi decide. Kiwi's like... I wish I could show you how he looks right now, but he's asleep. Let me see if I can take a picture of him. That's Kiwi right now. He's just sleeping. Kiwi's just sleeping. He doesn't care. One on the alphas and the other on the numbers? Oh, actually that sounds okay. Okay, fine. Since I personally have a slight feeling that the granites might sound nice on this plate, let's do granites on the main and Nixies on the numpad. Is that okay? Numpad and I guess, is this half the arrow cluster? Oh, 1/4 of the arrow cluster, I guess. Alright, I mean, it's hot swap, so it's not that hard. So, okay, let's go with that then. Alright, cool. Okay, so, where's my nephew? Oh, he is right there. He's right there. You see him? That's JD over there. Alright, let me show you what the board looks like. So, the board is not very heavy because we have an aluminum case with a carbon fiber internal piece. So it looks like this. So that's the top. It's kind of interesting. So if you see other 1800 style boards, typically this arrow cluster won't be here, it'll be here. And you'll have an exploded section here. So the layout on this is kind of odd. It cuts into the main cluster. So you see how you have the 65% style blocker here? It's kind of it's a strange 1800 style layout where you kind of have this like 65% style kind of going on, right? You have like this is what 60% would be, right? I mean, I guess 70% with the F row. But then you have arrow cluster here. So you get short shift and then arrow right here. And then they basically put this, I'm assuming this is an LED. And then you have nav cluster. And then there is a little screen. There's a little screen actually here for like GIFs and things like that. And then we have the numpad. A bit strange, but interesting nonetheless, kind of different. And then the back has this sort of like owl like form. So from what I can tell, these are brushed stainless steel. So you can sort of see that's brushed stainless steel. I can help but see the back as big as googly eyes. Yes, they're just just looking respectfully, okay? That's why they googly eyes. Anyway, so, and then you have a black sort of like engraved aluminum piece with concentric circles over here. And the rest is just kind of engraved. So bump-ons over here, and then you have these T8 screws all around. There are 8 bolts, and then you have a USB port that comes out of the nav cluster area, so it's not centered USB. It's kind of interesting. It's a little different. There is a magnetic pogo pin connector over here. So that's sort of the design. Okay. I have to mount my transition light TKL. I'm waiting for the HG Geon red switches. Oh, cool. Silence. 2-0 numpad. Yes, 2-0. Do you have a favorite board that you've built? Oh, I've built a lot of boards. Son of Gallifrey. It's hard to name one favorite, to be honest. And also, like, I guess build experience wise, a lot of boards are pretty similar, you know, in terms of like the way you build them is, you know, the steps you follow to build them is not like that much different from kit to kit. Obviously there's like exceptions to that, like if you do EC, or like if you have like a specific type of mounting system that's like a little bit odd or different, that has some subtleties there. But I think a lot of kits have similar building experiences. So at the end of the day, when you like discern like what's your favorite, it kind of depends on what combination of switches and keycaps and the kind of stuff you use. And yeah, I mean, I've built, you know, I don't know my board count build wise anymore, but I built, you know, maybe over 1,000 boards. I don't know, a lot of boards, hundreds, maybe close to 1,000. I don't know. I don't even know. So I built a lot of boards, and so it's kind of hard to name just one. It really is. I really am not sure. There have been some challenging like boards or builds in general, but I would not say like challenging meant not favorite or not likable at all. They had their charm. I'm just gonna open up the case, just kind of show you the inside. Lightning, can you explain why I-81 is so bad and not maintained? Wait, where does the I-81 actually cross? Let's see, maps. It goes. I mean, I know it's north south, but which exact area does it cross? On the north part. I-81. I see. It crosses through Alexandria Bay to Canada. That's probably why, though. That's not like it really isn't the best part of New York that it crosses. It goes through Syracuse and then goes all the way up to Alexandria Bay. So yeah, some highways are really well maintained, but some highways really aren't. I would say most highways are not particularly well maintained at the crossings. California might be different though, but like that part of upstate New York, I can't see it being that well maintained, to be quite frank with you. But have you built a board with Alps SKDN? I'm not that clouded or privileged like you are, Vinkeys. That's definitely a challenging question for me to answer. I'm not as privileged as you might be to have built with Alps SKDN. After all, only you would know such grand switches. But you know, if you don't like those, you can always switch key switches to these nuts. I mean SKDN. Diego, would you invest in a 3D printer? If I had the like counter space, yeah, I probably would. If I had the extra space to put it on and like use actively, yeah, I probably would. It sounds like a fun hobby. That's it. I think my desire for 3D printing has always been that they're just plug and play relatively easily. So get rid of the stovetop. Yes, just get rid of my kitchen. Okay, so that's what the board looks like from this side. So there is the pogo pin connectors for this. There's a little ribbon cable that connects to the screen. It's already pre-connected. There is an LED diffusing block here. And the rest is basically just, you know, we have these gasket mounts for these portions, right? And then we also have top mount screw locations. So we can talk about the top mount here. So top mount on the main cluster, we basically have one near the escape, one near each of the function clusters. And then there's one very close to the corner here. And then it looks like it kind of avoids the spacebar over here. And then one near the blocker. Or actually, wait. So one of these is probably not. Oh yeah, no, that's just, yeah. So one near the blocker here, one at the blocker, one at the other blocker, and then 3 around the numpad. Basically, really 4 around the numpad. These 4 are part of the numpad. And then yeah, and then basically at each of the clusters you have one screw location, but you have top mount avoiding the spacebar center. And it looks like they did it with, I guess, actually both 625 and 7U probably are fine here. So if you do like a solderable build, which I believe you do have the option for, let me look at the layout options. Ooh, actually, wait a minute. Layout options, it looks like it is always 625. From what I can see here, at least from the layout option diagram in the website. Let me see if I can... where is it? Oh, I see. I don't have it open on this part of the browser. So if you guys want to look, so here is the layout options, and it looks like it's 625 fixed. Interesting choice. But yeah, 625 fixed. Kind of feel like they could have added the compatibility there, but okay. Uber Eats forever? Oh my god, I just can't imagine all the fees, dude. The fees are crazy with like Uber Eats and things like that. Okay, sweet. Print your food at home? Yes. Oh yes. Okay. Basically like space food or something. Like actually space food is awfully difficult to manufacture. To make. All right. I heard the Keycaps #2 series is very fun to build, very easy. It's not that bad after you've done it once, but definitely easy to forget to put the screws on the underside of the whatchamacallit, the case, the mid piece. That part is kind of annoying. Like if you forget, or like you're like, oh, I have to like go back to put all those. Okay, so we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we need one more spacebar wire. 2 5s. Lazy Accountant, hello. Yeah, long time no see. But yeah, rebuilding the number 2 stuff is definitely kind of a pain. So many steps. Okay. Hey Diego, thanks for the base kitting on Dolch R5. I wish all GMK sets were like that. Oh, well, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that you appreciate the kitting. I've been hearing a lot of murmurs about people being unhappy about the duration of the group buy. Been hearing a lot about that. To some extent, not much I could have done. But it actually did okay for the set. So yeah, like, yeah, it could have been a longer buy, like 2 weeks. But I think ultimately I do feel like there were a lot of people who had been wanting the set that hopefully got it during the buy. But at the same time, I think there is a decent amount of apprehension of getting things during the group buy period. And so people might just prefer to just see it in stock. Going fully in stock was not an option at all. You know, Novel Keys, when we were in discussion, suggested doing the shorter period, and you know, similar to Sloth, I think, did that. There are a few sets that did this, right? The short pre-order, short batch, or no, short pre-order period window sets, and we just kind of ended up deciding to go with it, and so it turned out okay, I would say. I actually suspected there to be worse outcomes, but it turned out okay. Like, there were you know, I would say expected number of buyers. And then there are a bunch of extras being picked up amongst all the vendors involved. So if you did miss it, there will be sets to purchase later on. Diego, ISO and anti-layout compatibility? I can tell you right now. Yes to ISO. Yes to anti and ISO. Yeah, they do have both splits here. You do have ISO enter here and splits as well. Son of Gallifrey, I hope you have a good night. Between the I-81 and I-476, my back has taken a beating on those roads. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that. Like, I think as a buyer, personally, I would say it did feel short. I mean, like, I kind of do think that it being a 2-week period would have been, like, a perfect balance. Maybe, like, not too short, but not too long, because... So the thing about 1 month long group buy periods is that there's this huge dip. People buy right at the beginning, and then don't buy. And then people buy right at the end before it ends, right? Because it's like, they're like, oh, window's ending, I better not miss it. So they, you know, they're like, oh, I remember, and then they just get it. So that's usually what happens. But I think 2-week would have been just right, where you get, even if you get that dip, it's not that long of a period. But you know, in this case, I did agree to do the 5-day period because they did, you know, generously also agreed to take upon the project and to run it right away. I think that was the biggest thing. It was that if I had done a 1 month long GB period, it would have not run until probably next year. Dolch R5, R5X rather. It would probably not run until next year. And that's because a lot of, like, especially with novel keys, they have a lot of plans for other sets that they've been, you know, planning with other designers, or their, you know, designers in-house and whatnot. So it would probably not run for a long time if we hadn't done that. So it was a nice way to kind of like squeeze it in between things in their schedule. And I was like, I would rather bring this to people now than later. So I was like, yeah, just go with it. Definitely weird optics around it, for sure. I'm, you know, no beating around the bush on that one. It was short. So yeah, like personally, I was like skeptical. I mean, if you talk to Mike and you bring it up to him and he prefers to answer, if he wants to answer, he will tell you that I have my doubts, because I did. But ended up okay. Not the best, not the worst, but certainly a choice that was made from the organizing side. And I just kind of went with it because it seemed reasonable instead of, you know, having the set run much later in time. And also because it is Dolch, after all. Like, the premise of doing it short was that, well, I didn't know about how, there's no way to know how people will react to the set. So the extras thing, no one knows. Like, no one knew how many people would purchase and things like that, right? So I don't know what the, like, once the set gets produced and gets in stock, I don't know what that production's like stock and how long it'll last in stores. But I guess if there really is a like a demand for people to want more sets out there, then like it can certainly happen again, and the kitting doesn't have to change again. So yeah, it was just an opportunity to get it done more quickly, because it's not like you need to color match or anything like that. At the start and then FOMO, 2 weeks is best. Yeah, I think 2 weeks would have been perfect. But yeah, the 5 days was not my own suggestion, so not much I could have done there. It was just set based on novel keys and the rest of the vendor schedule. I actually don't know what like Gion or Jay might think about it. Like, I don't really know anything about that, because I was only talking to the lead vendor side, which was Mike and Novel Keys team. Is this an in-stock board? I believe there is a pre-order portion of it and an in-stock portion of it. Oh, Eric, hello. How are you doing, dude? I've seen you doing a lot of stuff these days. I hope you're doing well. Out and about. I would like to see a lot of sets that have small rolling in stock. I think that would, yeah, that would be nice. I think the thing about, I'll be honest, with Dolch, honestly, like, the set, for me, in my own perspective, the set did a lot better than I thought it would. Like, I don't know if there was that FOMO pressure sort of happening, but realistically, I actually expected it to just hit base kit MOQ, which I guess for the in the case of the Dolch does have a custom color, which is the teal turquoise one, and it's not like they have it in stock, and so the MOQ for that one is, I think, 250, pretty sure. And so I thought it would hit around that. It did a little better than that, but you know, it was, you know, in that ballpark still, I guess. But it did a little better than expected. But I really did not expect, for example, like the child kits to hit. I mean, the kitting worked out better this time around compared to the project keyword run, which had like a certain imbalance of kits, like with, you know, there's a mod tilde and mod pipe thing, and like space bars and this and that. But yeah, and like the Hangul kit and the project keyword run was like humongous, because of all the punctuation and numro things, and this extra space bar. So it was like a, you know, $75 kit essentially, or $70 kit or whatever, really expensive. So it worked out better this time around. But yeah, I really didn't expect it to do, you know, as well as it supposedly did. So that said, it didn't do like, oh, like, wow, record breaking. It just was like a healthy buy, considering that it was so short of a window. Like, I don't know. I mean, well, there is some bad optics and opinions out there, but I don't know how many of said opinions or people talking about Dolch R5 missed out because they were like, that period was too short and I couldn't, you know, wait for my paycheck, whatever it is, and I missed out. I have to get it in pre-order or extras, and on principle I don't want to get it anymore. It's too much more expensive or whatever it is, right? I haven't heard of people, or at least not like a very significant number, that has been like, oh, I missed out. Like, it was too short, I just missed out. Or I was traveling, I missed out. Like, I heard a couple of people who did say that, but not like a large number. I think the people who were looking for the set knew about it, for sure. That said, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, at least the good news is there will be a, you know, decent amount of extras and stuff, and so like there will be enough for everyone, I think. I would like to believe. And you know, like, I'm not sure if there will be a rerun anytime soon, but you know, it did well enough, so there'll be like enough more sets in circulation, I think. Where the hell is my lube brush? And the pricing, yeah, the pricing was pretty good considering R5 kitting. I do agree with that part. It was, R5 kitting does lend to more expensive kits. Where the heck is... Okay, hold on, I need to find my... Where's my Swackies lube brush? Oh, here. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I've talked to vendors about stuff, and putting a lot of sets in stock, especially a large variety of sets in stock, is hard. And even if you say Wob, Dolch, and Beige are, you know, people will say, oh, it's a holy trifecta, it's the classics, right? GMK should keep it in stock, or biggest vendor out there, you know, in this case, let's say Novelkeys, right? Biggest North American vendor, right? Biggest North American vendor should keep it in stock. It's a big expense, and truly the enthusiast hobby, because we have contracted again, there's really is no guarantee that it will like sell out, or like that like it'll keep a healthy in and out, you know, flux from their, you know, warehouse, I guess, to kind of like warrant it. And so I think on the business side of things, it just didn't kind of make sense to just do like, oh, we're gonna in stock this run, purchase 250, 100, 100 or something like that, and then just go from there. I think that might have been kind of rough, and so I kind of understand at least going with the pre-order or group buy route, just enough to like guarantee that it gets made. But yes, the period of time was short, so it may have prevented some people from getting it. But then again, yeah, GMK does have like classic beige, but you know, out and about and busy, hell yeah, We love to hear that. But I think, yeah, I actually, my personal opinion on Lube Dolce Beige being in stock and they will sell out eventually is a very optimistic view of it. I personally think it's especially with Dolce, Lube and Beige are kind of like very opposite in that, like, look or spectrum of like classic sets, I guess. Because Lube is like everywhere, like Lube style things like that, like more murdered out look or like the like more like low key look, and then Beige is like the ultimate like retro look, and then Dolce is sort of like in the middle. And I think it's like the awkward cousin, to be honest. And I personally think it's a very, I mean, I'm saying this based on sales like info that I kind of like have from previous things, and also just like my perspective on what people talk about Dolce, like classic OG Dolce. Enthusiasts really like it. They appreciate it over time. But there's also a lot of people who might be like, oh, I prefer modern Dolce, or I prefer this other thing, evil Dolce, or I prefer GMK Oiler, or whatever, you know. Other set that has grayscale-ish, white legends, accents, that stuff. And they might be like, I prefer that. And so it kind of always detracts from attention to OG Dolce, even if it's a quote-unquote a classic. And personally, I think it's super, super optimistic to think that it would always, like, you know, guarantee sell out in a, you know, guarantee like having like a healthy rolling stock in the store. I think it's very optimistic. Anyway, enough ranting. Or, I mean, I'll keep ranting anyway. But yeah, there's so many variants, and there's so many like options out there that are close enough. It's like a sea of the options, and it's tough. I actually wanted your set, but didn't because of R5 bottom row. Oh, I see, Ty. I love R5. People know me for being a huge advocate of R5 bottom row, regardless of the board layout. I always say this. I'm a huge fan of the OG Cherry R5 bottom row. I'm actually not a huge fan of R0. I've tried it over sets. I mean, I like, oh, you know, ASCII and like Carbon R2 and like other sets that I've tried R0 in. I will tolerate it, but I'm not a huge fan. So R0, for example, as opposed to R5, is a very different thing for me, and I don't love it. Also, S Soda, thank you for the 60 months. Dang. Thank you. Are we talking about the GB on NK? Yeah, I was talking about it. Yeah. I already have better Dolce at home, Dracula mono. Short GBP aligns with NK's business model? Yeah, it does. They also have like an immense number of projects they want to run. I think that's the thing. Like, they have community projects that they take on, but they also have a lot of in-house motivated born projects that they need to run on their own timeline, and I think that definitely you know, is fighting for a spot. And so I do think that the short period just had to be that way because of that. So yeah, I agree with that statement. Beige is always desirable. Yeah. Dolce is the dark version of Beige is a take. Ooh, I don't know, man. I mean, kinda, yeah, but it's also like not the same. I mean, I've seen people shit on Dolce a lot. Okay, I've seen people be like, when I remember when Moto came out, when Modern Dolce R1 came out, people were like, oh, OG Dolce, like classic GMK Dolce looks like poop next to Modern Dolce. Look at the nice cool gray on Modern Dolce, and look at the brown gray alphas. It looks like poop on OG Dolce, and people hate on it. And obviously, like, times always cycle and things change, and people start having this nostalgia, or like they're like, oh, I saw it on this board and it looked amazing, right? and they like change their opinion, or like they see it more often, and they kind of they're like, oh, it grew on me, you know. Obviously every enthusiast has opinions that kind of like, you know, go full circle around that stuff. But I think compared to Beige and Lube, Dolge definitely has garnered a lot more criticism over the years. Dolge is the red ice black dragon. R5 is more angled? Yeah, William. If you go to the GMK Dolge R5, I think group by thread, the Keycaps thread from the Project Keyboard thread, it was like the run in 2020. If you scroll to, I think, the second post, there's an FAQ like section that I wrote years back, you know, back when it ran, and it compares. It's like the R4, R5 comparison, and there's a few pictures under the more like section of the FAQ. It kind of gives you a nice comparison of R4, R5. I mean, obviously, if you just look for R4, R5, you'll also be able to look for it on like Google. So, but yeah, they're different. Used MT3 is a good way to get into R5. That's fair. Yeah, some of the high-profile sets do kind of help ease you in. I tried SA once and never leaving Cherry ever again. That's fair. I did use SA for my first year of keywords. Actually, the first year and a half. I did. I was a lot more open to using SA, and then I stopped. There's one thing preventing me to get sets with R5 spacebar. It looks so out of place, but you know, I get that. But spacebar is like its own thing, so it's like I guess it is. I mean, it is out of place. It's like an island. Like the spacebar itself is like an island of itself. It establishes its own presence and authority in its own place to be. So yeah, it stands out regardless of what you have around it, and definitely R4 is less clashing next to the spacebar, but I always try to tell people that R4, like spacebar is not R4 row profile. It's spacebar is spacebar row profile. So it has its own you know, shape. What year was this that people said that? When Modern Dolge came out. When was Modern Dolge R1? Like 2019 or something? 18, 19, Modern Dolge R1? I don't know. Something like that, right? It's a while back. But I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. But people, there was a time people really didn't like Dolge as much because it just had that, like, because Dolge is supposed to be like, people are like, oh, I thought it was gray, but when I got the key set, it looked brown. And that's what people didn't like about it. And yeah, like specifically about the alphas. I think some people just don't like the alpha color of Dolge. Like the dark gray is fine, you know, kind of looks, you know, the dark gray is pretty dark, so it's just like, it's fine. It's just like high contrast modifiers, but the alphas tend to be a little bit more contentious on people's opinions and biases. Do manufacturers have no R5s? No. I need you to understand, Alcyon Days. Spacebar is its own profile. You have R1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 0. Spacebar is spacebar profile. It's always been spacebar profile. There was never a thing such as R4 spacebar and R5 spacebar. It was always spacebar. You know? Like the convex key, you know? Yeah. So but technically, yes, R5 bottom row boards from the Cherry Corporation side of things predate the ones that had R4. That said, like if you get like a 1800, like a G80 1800 like terminal, like a server rack keyboard, a lot of those will have R4 bottom rows. The reason for R4 bottom rows, or sometimes there's some server rack 1800 keyboards that have R2 and R3 and R4 only. They don't have R1 or R5. And the reason for that is because these server racks have very narrow spacings, right? To put the keyboard in there. So they have to use the lower profile keys. So some of these server rack G80 1800s only have the narrowest, the shortest profile keys, which is 2 to 4. And so yeah, I mean, it was kind of made based on need, but all the full-size boards, or not all, but a lot of the full-size boards that Cherry did early on had 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 for the function row, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the row profile, and that's kind of considered to be like the bread and butter, like the OG Cherry profile. Full sculpt Cherry profile is kind of like what that was considered. And then R0 was on select keyboards, like very select keyboards had R0, the more slanted top row keys, which people call R0, and those are on very select keyboards. There really are not that many that have R0. So R0 was a bit more of a novelty, at least in the context of Cherry keyboard history, compared to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that people always talk about, oh, full sculpt Cherry is 0 to 5, but R0 is actually the rarest form, so to speak, or one of the rarest forms, so to speak, of the Cherry sculpt for the keycap profile. Oh yes. 50 genes. Oh no. Yeah. Yes. So let me dial it back slightly. So yes. So in keyboards, there are keycap sets, and in keycap sets we denote sculpted profiles by their specific rows that they correspond to, because they have a specific shape when you look at it from the side. And so when I talk about right now R1 through R5 or whatever is the row profile that I'm talking about for keycaps. And then, yes, unfortunately, the denomination does overlap with talking about rounds, like round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, and so on, because keycap sets do eventually get reruns. And so, yes, that's why it's ambiguous. Dolch R5, I mean, I've kind of like, I expanded more on this during the original Dolch R5 group buy or interest check, but the reason it's called Dolch R5, it was like a pun, it was like wordplay, it was a double meaning. R5 to indicate the first time ever at the time when it ran in 2020, the first Dolch key set that had R5 bottom row, and it was also at least from what I could count from the years, the 5th public run of Dolch key sets. There were like, Ivan Dolch and Originative and so on and so forth, but it was supposed to be like this double meaning of R5. So it was I named it Dolch R5 because I was like, it's sort of the 5th run, and it also has for the first time the, to me, very epic and cool R5 bottom row. So that's the history around the set. The new Dolches, I have to admit, I jive with, but the old school ain't me. That's fair. Oh, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So yeah. That's sort of the gist of it, though. But yeah, I get it. Pancakes, like I totally get it. Like old school Dolch is, it is boring. I mean, the reason why Wob, Dolch, and Beige are considered classics is because they are the OG boring key set schemes, like colorway schemes. Technically though, Dolce is even rare, like in a way. Like Dolce is unique in the sense that it originated from these Dolce pack terminals, right? Like the portable computer keyboards that were attached to them, right? Had, you know, they were in this color scheme, and you know, yeah, sure, if you look at more vintage computing stuff, you'll find that there are other makers, you know, other computer makers and keyboard terminal makers that sort of like use this kind of like grayscale-y sort of like color scheme, and you'll find like Dolce-esque themed keycaps out there too, but generally speaking, it's kind of rare. It became more of a community classic because of these reproductions of what people saw on those terminals, and were like, hey, that looks pretty sick. Can we make like keycaps with the modern German manufacturer, you know, in this case like GMK, to make cherry profile keycaps just like the ones Cherry made for those Dolce pack terminals. Can we make those? And those became pretty popular through community interest, and like so much, you know, popular enough that they became a sort of a community staple, which is pretty cool. Like in a way, it was the community that fostered this more, I guess, community global interest in Dolce to be seen excuse me, as a like a classic colorway. What stabs are those? These are just cherry clip-ins. They're just cherry clip-ins. What is a Dolce anyway? Well, like it's just a brand. It was a brand name. It's a company's name. It's a proper name. I've seen people misspell Dolce as Dolce, like sweet, or candy, and I'm like, I guess it does sound kind of similar. So it's like people are like, oh, it must be Italian, and I'm like, yeah, no. Dolce Gabbana, Dolce Banana. Yes, exactly. All of that. All of that. All the above. It's definitely Italian. Sorry, definitely. Definitely Italian. Yes. Dolce is named after Frederick Dolce. If there were a person named that, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll put it on a pizza soon. Sounds good. Make sure it's a square pizza. If you do it on a pizza, like the Dolce logo, make sure it's a square pizza. Yes, it always irked me somewhat wrong. Dolce means dagger in German. Yes, yes. So there's also that, right? Obviously, if you take the proper name and you take it into a common word, it will have meanings in other languages too. So yeah, there's also that. But yeah, I mean, obviously in this particular case, the stuff that we're talking about in the community is named after the brand, the company. Wait, GMK Dolce. Dolce with pink instead of red, teal, and cute novelties? There was a set that was Dolce themed that combined the Dolce and the Miami aesthetic. That was it Kekon who ran it a while back, a long time ago, called, not long, oh, I guess long now, but it was called GMK Dolce Reborn. I think that one had magenta and cyan for legends. Just like the Miami key set, Dolce Reborn. That's like a 2017-ish key set, if I recall. I forget when exactly. Are you planning any trips this year, Diego? Just minor ones. Probably like seeing my family later this year. And like small things, like things that we can go by train or rent a car, like, you know, road trips that are like close by, things like that. And major trips though, no. Well, not at the time anyway. I don't have anything like big planned. Because I did use a lot of my PTO days. Earlier in March when I went to Japan and Korea, I used like, you know, I guess a little over half my PTO for the year. So, you know, what's left over is mostly like long weekends, holidays, like short things, and then we usually try to reserve those for some family visits, or occasions. Like I've used a day for like my friend's wedding, things like that. So right now I don't have any like big plans to go anywhere, but I think there might be one trip towards later in the fall if it's international, and I think otherwise mostly just short domestic trips, like weekend trips and things like that. Yes, there's also Skydolge, as Jay Reggie said. I'm putting it on New York style. Black squid ink dough and homemade teal dyed mozzarella. Ooh. Not gonna lie, a pizza sounds really good. Nothing wrong with it. I once saw a company in Germany called PMS. I suspect it would have terrible customer service. I am doing my best in the Big 2-5 to not normalize the misfortune of thousands and millions of women out there who have to experience these things monthly and excruciating pain sometimes, depends on the person, to behavioral complaints and people saying that. And like, really, it's ain't nice, right? It's crazy. I don't know. I always tell my partner, I'm like, I respect so much. It's so rough, so difficult. So the new Dolce is interesting since now we have a new thing that we can do, like adding iron filing, iron filing as an effect. What? You mean like the special resin stuff? One never forget that menstrual pain can reach heart attack levels. Yeah, it's insane. It sucks, man. It sucks. But yeah, if you live with someone who does suffer through it, you know it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. And then you're like, oh, can you take a painkiller? It's like, no, I already took it. And it still hurts. Like a mother father. Oh, I forgot to update the build command. I'm so sorry about that. I will update it shortly, okay? For those who have been typing the build command and I didn't update it, I will update it. Let me just finish this last stab. It is actually the last one. And once it's done, I will update that command. All right, there it is. Yeah. We already decided on switches and plate. Copy this. Oh wait, sorry for the bad taste. No, it's fine. You're cool. Edit command. TypePlus. So I guess for the most part we're building with TypePlus Granite switches. These are factory lubed, and these are going to be mounted on a carbon fiber plate. Boom. Hi Diego, what are those keycaps on stream? These are GMK Led Zepp. This is the R1 Led Zepp. But R2 recently ran. I think that was through Mikibo? It's in production, I think, right now. So technically, we are going to be using some cherry switches on the numpad section because some people want to hear some of the cherry sound on it. So I'm gonna put some cherry switches on the numpad, but the main cluster is gonna have the Alex Soto's Granite switches. But maybe after we try that, at the end I can always put the Granite ones all throughout the board. Okay. So there's our plate on this, and our plate for this. I'm surprised the right shift shined that much on a TKL. So I did get this set secondhand, so it was already shined a bit. And then I actually do use the right shift quite a bit too, because I actually use both shifts depending on what I might be typing or using. So I did shine it a decent bit as well. Also, yeah, if you hear like stuff in the background, it's the kitchen. Dolchar 5 isn't run 5. I mean, it's like kind of, but it's also in reference to the bottom row. It's a mix. It's both. It's both. It's both things. I've never used a CF plate before. How does it compare to alu in terms of feel? So in terms of feel, carbon fiber is kind of close to alu in my opinion. I think some people does anyone disagree with that actually? I think I would say most people would kind of agree it's close to stiffness to alu. Some people say maybe it's slightly softer or slightly stiffer, kind of like it's a little subjective, but in my opinion it's kind of similar to alu. But sound wise it's different. I think yeah. It's alu without the metallic overtones. Yeah, Koopa is exactly right. It's a little bit more muted in terms of like when you like bottom out and top out, it doesn't have that like more metallic-y part that alu gives you. But in contrast, carbon fiber does have a more special characteristic in my opinion. Especially when you pair it with like louder switches or like switches that you kind of like have a very specific sound to them. It kind of amplifies that too, like up a notch. Like so a lot of people will talk to you about like carbon fiber with like tactiles, like MX browns, MX clears, or like heavier tactiles as well. Like carbon fiber really accentuates those. But for linears, sometimes it can be a little bit more muted. But it kind of depends. Like it's like depending on the material of the switch too. But I do think it has like this like sort of like amplifying effect for certain switch sound characteristics that Alu doesn't really do. Alu doesn't really do that because it has this like metallic overtone to it that kind of overwhelms all that. So Alu is a little bit more neutral in that sense, despite carbon fiber being like more supposedly muted and such. So it's a pretty interesting material. It's like kind of fun to try out, where you don't really sacrifice so much in stiffness, but you can get some like fun sound from them depending on the switch, and sometimes they end up a little bit uninteresting because of that like muted portion of it. Like sometimes the switch just kind of doesn't sound that good on carbon fiber, and there's some builds that just show that, and it's not as interesting. But there are specific combos that really shine on it, and a lot of people will talk about carbon fiber with tactiles. But I would always tell people just try both linears and tactiles and see how you like it. It's pretty subjective at the end of the day, so I've seen people really enjoy it both ways. So yeah. You saw a YouTube video on MX Blacks and carbon fiber, which convinced me to buy a new Ergo, but I just wasn't sure I was in it for the feel. But how you describe it, I think I love it. Yeah, if you already like Alu, like typing feel, carbon fiber won't sacrifice any of that. Like as far as like the stiffness of the plate goes and whatnot. So I think it's a good choice for people who are sort of torn on what to get, but they already like the more neutral Alu. Option. Is the Athena reversible? No. It is right side numpad only at the moment. I think that's by design actually. So it is a pretty more standard 1800. The only thing that is different about it is that the arrow cluster sort of cuts into the main cluster of the board here because it's not exploded. So the arrow cluster is right here. Here you have a 175 U shift, and then here you have what you would have on an FN, like on a 60%. It's kind of like a 65% here. And then sort of like, slightly off from the right arrow key, you have this nav cluster over here. I switch away from Alu just to get rid of the metallic sound. Yeah, I personally have I really like polycarb plates myself. I know a lot of people, it's kind of a contentious choice. Some people really don't like it because it sounds too plasticky or like too high pitched and whatnot. But I personally I like polycarb plates. So when I don't want that more metallic-y sound of Alu, I tend to go to polypropylene, polycarb, like plastic plates usually. And then yeah, carbon fiber is there as an option, but I think my use of carbon fiber plates has been definitely more limited, I would argue. Definitely not as many boards that I've done with carbon fiber, but it's a fun material, so I do like pairing it with like tactiles or like switches that have like a more unique like sound profile. And also it depends on the layout too, right? Like layouts sound so different with various plates. Also like mounting method. I mean, everything factors in at the end of the day. I think I either go with CF or PP nowadays. Oh, nice. Yeah, those are pretty solid choices. Fortunately, like, because there are so many like switches and plate options now, it's like yeah, you can just find what you like eventually. And certain switches, like, you know, a lot of these Cherry MX switches are pretty neutral, or no, kind of unique, I guess, but neutral in some ways. That you kind of know what to expect when you put them on boards. That makes that choice a little bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and test these stats first. Want to try Cherry Blossom's cool name? Is that the new switch? The silent one? I forget if that's right. Do you think you would notice a difference between Alu and CF with the EC switches? Oh, Personally, I feel like not as much on the AE boards EC switches, mostly because those come with silencing already. So I feel like the difference is not as pronounced. That's my like educated guess on the EC switches from AE boards. If it were like a more typical regular Toper build, yeah, I feel like there might be some difference there. Or at least it will be much more obvious than with the AE boards ones, which are kind of quiet. Linear no silent. Oh, that's right. Are those the long pole ones that Cherry made or is making? I feel like I underlooped this one a little bit. I tried EC on Alu and FR4 and they sound about the same. Yeah, I feel like EC is not as sensitive to that. Or at least it doesn't feel like it's as much, you know? It's a little hard to say, right? At least in my experience, but I'm not sure. My experience with custom EC is actually much more limited than a lot of people's because I didn't like dive head in to like head first into like the custom EC scene. I kind of stuck to a lot of the OEM stuff because I already like it. So I never like was like, oh, I'm gonna buy all these cases and try all these like plates and new PCB stuff. And so my experience on it is admittedly pretty limited compared to some people who really have tried like everything in between. Sorry if it's a little muted right now for the sound because it's like on the dust mat. I'm just trying to tell if it's like rattling or not. Okay, I think it's fine. EC, Toper? Yeah, electric capacitive. No rings will be loose because the sliders won't top out. Yeah, for the AE stuff, yeah, I believe you can't, I mean, you can remove it, but it won't sound good. Yeah. I'm curious how these sound this time. For few times I've heard these switches, they just sound too plasticky. To be honest, I think that characteristic will probably be there, but yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out shortly. We'll see. My experience with these Granite switches is still fairly limited. And you know, kind of like what I said about carbon fiber is that it accentuates certain sound features of switches, and sometimes it might not be the the preferable feature that gets more prominent. So sometimes it just doesn't sound that good because it just kind of emphasizes that a little bit more. It's subtle, but I feel like it is there. They kind of remind me of CJs, the sound. Gateron CJs. Huh. I feel like Gateron CJs had an interesting... Gateron CJs came with, a lot of Gateron stuff in general came with quite a bit of factory lube too, if I recall correctly. So those were a little bit sensitive to the lubing, I remember. But yeah, they did have a more, a little bit plasticky sound for sure. But I guess so did inks and Oil Kings, I guess. But Oil Kings work also like stock Oil Kings are kind of drowned in I guess the grease, the oil. So sometimes they can be a little bit of a miss. I'm about to sleep. Oh, Kupo, you're going to bed? Okay. Have a good night. Gateron CJ. I'm staying up until I hear this build? Wow, you trust me too much. Do you trust my speed into getting to type on this? If I were, I don't know, Nathan or Ryan, you wouldn't say that, would you? I'm buying tickets for Shin Godzilla in 4K. Ooh, I feel like Fishy. Oh, Fishy's a big fan of the IP, right? I feel like he is. What's Teehee up to nowadays? Doesn't he work at Norbauer and Co. building Senecas and I don't know, enjoying married life, and I don't know. I actually don't know. Don't really know. Do you know that Captain Sterling works with Omnitype? Yeah, I knew the day he announced it. Yeah, I saw right away. So I did know, yes. I did know. I think... Oh, is the housing not fully closed? Feels a little... Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll try this one, actually. Do you know that's on that exit scam? Just found out. Okay. Okay, Mr. Kupo. Kupo. Alright, let's hope this is okay. Shall we just start with the good old traditional top mount? Let's see how that goes. Oops. I think these are the top mount screws. Okay, let's start with good old top mount. So get those corner screws on first. It's too bad they didn't include force brake pads with the protos. It helped bring the sound out a lot on these builds. Oh yeah? Do you see who else built this? Alex? Who else built this? Who else built this? I know Alex built it, I think. I mean, well, what does Alex not build? But also, there's probably a few more people who have built this. Never tried top mount board yet? Gonna wait for Tofu TKL to try? Oh, yeah, Tofu TKL. I do believe I will be checking out Tofu TKL. Actually, kind of a surprise, but KBDfans has been reaching out to me to build boards, which is pretty sweet of them, because for a long time I didn't touch any of the KBDfans stuff, mostly because I didn't get reached out to. And they really did pump out quite a lot. I didn't try like the what is that, agar board and anything built before that basically, but like lately, like I get to try this Athena, and then I think I'll get to try the Tofu TKL at some point. So kind of nice, kind of cool. WTF Tofu TKL? Yeah. There's a Tofu TKL coming. I asked KBD to include them now, and they agreed to. Oh, cool. I mentioned you to them recently, as it seemed you had some time. Oh, I see. Oh, thank you. Well, how nice of you. How kind of you. Well, I'm always up to build boards because it's fun. I enjoy building boards. So regardless of time, I just kind of enjoy this thing. So all right, let's hope this works, right? Okay, so there is top mount right there, and let us so you think I should put some tape or something on this? Force brake this thing a little bit? You think I should do that? I can cut some tape and just slap it on the bottom case probably. I think that would probably be the best, easiest way to do it. I love content, so I'm here for it. Okay. Let's see. Force brake helps a lot. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, if they're gonna include some anyway at some point, can't hurt, right? I have some. I find that electrical tape tends to help. It's like a little thicker, but also not like too difficult to use. So I'll put some electrical tape around the screw hole areas. That's I personally find it the easiest way to do this. Just cut some strips and then just put them on. Or do you have stab pads? Cut those up for. Oh yeah. I could get those, but I already have tape right here and it's easy, so it's fine. Actually, I don't think I have that many of those stab pads around. I might have some, but would have to look for them. I'll just put maybe like equivalent number of pieces around the board. Like one down here, one up here. One here. Yeah, yeah, I've seen people do this numpad thing. It's also it's nice because they're like typically like black, so it's like or like, you know, neutralish colors, so it doesn't stand out as much as this one. This should be okay. Hopefully these are enough, like 8 pieces or so. Maybe I'll just put an extra, feel like up here, perhaps. Okay, just add an extra piece. Okay, should be good enough. Just make sure this magnetic pogo pin thingy is all the way up. Okay. All right, let's put this. In. Where's my T8 screwdriver? I wish I could get my hands on Night V3 or V4 stabs. They're sold out everywhere. Oh, Night stabs. Difficult to get a hand on those. I guess also like if you're on swackies, it might be expensive to ship sometimes. Wow, it's a bird. Yeah, it's a bird. I had to order night stabs from Singapore. I see. All right. You know what's funny about the electrical tape that was white? Kind of matches with this white accent. Just funny. Random. Okay. Let's let me try plugging this in. Try to stock up pretty much everything before all the big taxes hit. That's totally fair though. Tariffs and taxes. Death and taxes, death and tariffs. Ooh, there it is. KBDfans. Okay, I don't know. There's a GIF of this man eating rice. It seems. Can't get it. Oh wait, maybe I'll just zoom in with this. It's just whatever was uploaded on the board. Kind of random. I believe I heard that currently the prototypes have the uploading mechanism for the GIFs is a little bit clunky, but obviously they'll have that all nice and fixed for the production, or you know, soon. But yeah. Okay, what keycaps should we put on this, guys? Do you guys want to see anything in particular? Blue alert or Dolce? Dolce could work, to be honest. It's a darker blue, so Dolce actually is okay on darker boards. Calm Depths. Ooh, that's a fun set. Okay, how about let me let me do this and put it on a poll. There's a few here. Calm down, boolers. Okay. So let's do poll. Typing on stems. I'm not very fast. Keycaps. Okay, I saw a few options here. Calm devs. Blue. I feel like blue alert might be okay, but the blue of the board is a little darker than the blue of the set. Just FYI. I guess people said beige. Some beige. Dolce. I'll do GMK if it's beige. Dracula. Oh, Dracula. That's a good set too. Dracula. That could slap. It's GMK. GMK, not SA. I don't have the SA one. Alright, I'll let you guys vote. There's 5 sets here. Calm Devs, Blue Alert, Beige, Dolce, Dracula. They're all, you know, I say all GMK. GMK. Let you guys pick it. If you want to redeem your points, it's not going to work because I'm already doing the poll. So I'm just going to let people choose it this time. Oh, I need to respond to a message and now I'm typing on steps. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a tight race between Blue Alert and Dracula. Calm Death might be over some people's heads because it's not a set you see often. Some people might not be like, oh, I recognize that one. But it's a blue themed set if you're curious. You can look up photos. We have these silicone gaskets for gasket mount. Ooh, looks like Dracula's having a pretty big lead. Zain Alam Shah, hello. How's it going? How are you? Honestly what? Okay, Dracula it is. Alright. Dracula. Okay. I'm gonna go... That's the closest anyone on Twitch has gotten to my name, which is impressive. Oh, really? It's not like I know, but I try my best. But if you want to correct me, please feel free. Okay, because it's hard to read usernames when they're all like, especially when they're like multiple words in one. It's always hard to read them. Okay, I'll go get the set. Okay, I'll be right back. I said Zain Alam Shah. Nobody ever says my name right. Oh, I mean, I prefer Kupo. It's more fun to say Kupo. But I know that people say Kupo too. Markupo. Markupo. Ads might run for a minute. I'm just doing it so that we I might just run the ad break so that you guys, while I get the set, so that we don't get interrupted in the middle of typing. Okay, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back, friends. Let's see. What's going on over here? Usually people just call me Zane or Zayna. I call him handsome. I would call Kupo handsome too. Except Kupo never shows up to meetups yet, I think. Or maybe they do, but then I never know about it, which is so sad. What's this? Oh, okay. Free domestic flight if you fly with JAL. Oh. Guys, I have to downsize my desk. My bedroom is a shack. Oh, I downsized my desk too, actually, Lamp. I'm not sure if you know. You mentioned last stream? Oh, I did. Right, that's right, that's right, that's right. No, I would introduce myself, Diego? Really? Do you guys trust that? Kupo saying that he would introduce himself at a meetup? That's crazy, bro. I hope so, Kupo. When are you showing up? Pull up. I'm telling you, I can't believe you're letting Busto show up first. SMH. Can't believe it. Can't believe Buster Blader is gonna show up to a meetup before you. I thought you guys were gonna like pull up together or something. I know you're in different states, but still. Mo Fasho versus Mr. Kupo versus Luke Dr. Off. Yikes. I'm one of Busto's dogs. Damn. That's crazy, Kupo. I would if I went to one. If I went to one, but I don't. So wow, the confidence of saying I don't. So I see. We will never know. The mythical, ripped, holy rippedness of Mr. Kupo. I hope I'm reincarnated as one of Busto's dogs. Honestly, they seem to have like a good life. I mean, oh, I bet. I mean, if I could be reincarnated and be like, you know, live like Kiwi does over here. This guy is just chilling, sleeping. I would love that. I would love to be reincarnated as a well-fed and well-taken care of domestic, you know, cat. Sounds awesome. Ooh, Dracula is looking good on this though. Do nothing equals win. I agree. I'm gonna put maybe those colorful highlight accents on this for the arrows. I think that'll be kind of cool. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't look good though. But we'll see. I'm gonna wait until later to kind of verify that. But Dracula is looking pretty damn good on this, at least at the moment. Let's see, control code. Beals Loki got some great vision for colors. He got the color vision. Dang, that's cool. Must be nice. I don't think I have a great eye for it. Some people say I do, but I don't really think so. When I see myself wear clothes, I'm like, yeah, nope. I don't have a great sense of that. But maybe clothes are different. I don't know. See, these are the highlight accents or whatever. Let's see. We have various arrow key colors. What's the like right way of doing Dracula arrows? I don't even know, man. I think it's just like different colors, right? Like this, I guess. For something more fun. And then we can do like artisans on, you know, I'm not sure. Do I have novelties for this? Oh, that's the 40s kit, right? It's the night mode stuff, I think. Hold up. Did Dracula have a numpad and oh, it's over here. Oh, phew. I was like, Dracula, pretty sure it was a full base kit, right? And I'm like, yeah, it is a full base kit. I was like, where is a numpad? It's right here. It's right here. We need to stop naming our cats Asian names. No more Misotaro Mochi Momo. Fair. That's a fair take. That's a fair take. Not gonna lie. You're gonna name your... Oh, wow. I don't want to say things in Vietnamese because I'm gonna totally butcher it. Okay, so numpad first. Regular enter? Yeah, I think the arrow standing out like that is kind of nice. Okay. You pronounce it Boon Tit Nong Noon Noon. So difficult. I can't. Vietnamese is so difficult. When I hear it, I'm like, how do you say that again? So bad, so bad. I'm just like that one. Points finger at the menu. Honestly, that was okay. Buntit yung. Okay. Trying to figure out. I don't think I want to do artisans all here. It's like too much going on. Maybe I'll just do. I'll fill these guys. I think that's the play here. But with what? Is the real question. I like this. Like this eye novelty is kind of fun, but let me see. Maybe I'll just do it with more regular keys, like home or print, like print, scroll, pause kind of thing. Maybe print, lock, pause, and where's the R1 delete? Or actually no, print, lock, pause kind of sucks. Print, delete, page up, page down. That works, I think. No, page up, page down would be technically here, so maybe home and end. Home. What's end? Where the fuck is end? R1. End. Oh wait, no, I have that. Home. Where's the home key? Home. Do the novelties on the PP cluster? I'm gonna do artisans, I think. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I have enough Dracula thing stuff, but okay, this is the novelties here. Also, the highlight keys don't have like don't have stuff for this. Kind of looks awkward on it. All right, so I think that's good enough. Diego, can you translate this for us? Can I do this later, or do I have to do it now? You can do it whenever? Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out later then. Later. Alligator. Just some Korean guys talking about Swaki's Knight V4. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll check it out. Actually, well, it's relevant to keyboard stuff, so maybe I'll take a look at it right now. It's a short. Oh wait, it's not plugged in. Whoops. Oh wait, oops. Oops, didn't copy that. What? Isn't oh, I see. It's like, hold on. Okay, so it's in English, but I don't trust the English. Oh, okay. How can I make the captions? Oh wait, whoops, turn off the captions. I'm gonna just mute it and just watch it, I guess. So it says, okay, so Mongdang is the person, I assume. So it says Knight Stabilizers V4 now. They say that they bought it right on the day of release, and So they bought it directly in the Yongsan store, and Podonim, which is Podo, I think is the guy in Korea whose name is like Grape. Like he was like he's gonna assemble it and see how they are. And then he basically is saying 철심 is like the stainless steel, I mean like the wires, and he basically says here the caption says the sub says it's almost perfect. In my standard, it's not completely perfect, but even if there is a little bit of difference, like or like little bit of like even if it's slightly off and you assemble it, it's perfectly fine. And then they're saying V3 versus V4, and honestly, they're basically saying that honestly, wouldn't the difference be in the feel? And then they're going to look at after they assemble it. What does this say? PC 소재로 적용 blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is like a disclaimer sort of thing. Basically on like the differences. Okay, so they put all the stabilizers, and okay, so they say that some of the binding aspect of the night stabs is kind of gone on the V4, and it feels a little bit more like it feels a little bit more like some 상쾌해진 느낌. Okay, yeah, so it kind of feels like more refreshed, and they think that there is a little bit more like rubbing on the stab, but they say that it's better. They say that the pitch is slightly higher, and between Night Stabilizers V3 and Desert Stabilizers? What are Desert Stabilizers? What are Desert Stabilizers? Between Night Stabilizers V3 and Desert Stabilizers, Night Stabilizers V4 in the middle. For feel. I don't know what desert is. Okay, that's it. That's basically what it says. It's 사막 스테이빌, which I'm not sure what it is. Apparently from the design of V4 is supposed to remove the stab stance from bottoming out on full travel switches. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like stabilizers should be standardized for full travel switches, not for short travel ones. Personally, that's my opinion. Okay, let's put some caps on this. Let's see, I got some stuff that could look good on Dracula. Maybe not too purple. Let's err on the side of more bluish. That could work. I do have the Dracula theme series. That could work. There. Maybe Necropolis Bongo. Yeah, that could work. Well, it's on the more purple side, but actually it's fine. It's pretty good. Put the Sirius here, the Rage here, Necropolis, Bongo, this one, right? Yeah, that works. It's like on the more purple side, but it's pretty good. Yeah, maybe for the last one, Menlo? No, I don't feel like as much. Oh, I thought someone said something. Kinda. This Earl? Oh, this Earl. Yeah, that Earl. It's like on theme. Cool, that works. What is the most expensive artisan y'all have seen? There's a few. I would say maybe like Freedom Eagle probably. Clack. And then some of the KBK, KWK stuff that goes for a lot, or the Keycaps stuff that goes for a lot. Also pretty expensive. All right, so that's what this looks like right now. I'm just gonna test that everything's working. Okay. What's this program to? Oh, actually program to the okay, cool. All right, let's try this out. So, gotta mute this mic. Okay, I don't know why the thingy doesn't work anymore. I need to readjust my Stream Deck buttons. It's not working properly. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the side. I'll adjust it a little bit here. Is that the, yeah, there's a focal plane. It looks a little bright because of the reflection. It's like kind of like this. So it looks lighter than it really is. It looks like this from the overhead. Like this from the side. So, yeah. Okay. Let's try this out. Okay. All right. Good night, lamp. All right, folks. So this is the Athena 1800 keyboard from KBDfans. Price-wise is between 200 and 250 bucks ish. Really good, crazy. Has a screen, nice cool layout, full numpad and everything. Pretty cool. But yeah, let's try it out. So right now we have it built with a carbon fiber plate with Alex Otto's or TypePlus Granite switches. On the numpad section, we have it with Nixies, cherry Nixies, with Lube with 205. And yeah, we have it in top mount. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, It's certainly a device of all time. Yes, it is an input device, and it is called a keyboard, and it sounds like one. Thank you for the contribution, guys. Sounds pretty good, in my opinion. I think personally the spacebar on this is a little bit more underwhelming than I thought, but the alphas sound pretty good. Right now with no foam. Okay, I'm gonna go to the mods. I'll go to the numpad separately, and yeah. Okay, mods. Yeah, these are the Granite switches from TypePlus, yeah. So up to here was Granites, and then here I actually have, excuse me, here I actually have Nixies. So these are Nixies. I love how like numpad keys sound. They sound so nice. If you compare, you know, this part and this part, also, different part of the board, so obviously it kind of biases it in a different way. And yes, Bills, I can definitely try replacing the spacebar for a Nixie and see how that sounds. Doesn't Alex do this all the time, actually? I think that's right. I think Alex always has like a few switches around to switch the spacebar on hot swap builds, especially. Okay, we can definitely try switching it over. That's much more like a cherry switch there. Here's a pocket Nixie. Nice. Always has a Nixie around. Yeah. So we can try this now with Nixie spacebar. That sounds nice. I think I prefer this spacebar more than the Granites. Also, I'm making a lot of typos. I think there's maybe a couple of bent pens or something like that. It's my hunch, but yeah, I think the Nixie spacebar sounds pretty nice. Or Olge, it's bent pins. Yes, I'm coping too. Also, it's really hot in here. And yeah, I also suck at typing. Correct. If people really want 7U and leave comments on the YouTube video VOD they might consider for the solder PCB, that would be good, in my opinion. I think it would look nice with, you know, 1.5, 1.57, 1.5. I think that would look pretty good too. Yeah. I know, yeah, some people also do the BCP switch thing, right? But yeah. Milmax is on spacebar and solder a lot. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. BCP too loud on CF? I would agree, yeah. I think these alphas sound pretty good though. I think these granites sound pretty good on the alphas for this particular plate too. This configuration actually sounds good with these granite switches on the alphas. I think the spacebar is a little bit more underwhelming. Might be because of the mounting, to be honest. But with the cherry, it kind of comes back to life. GMK spacebar plus cherry's loud AF. Yeah, it definitely is on the loud side. So that's what this board looks like actually. On the bottom side. So if you want to take a look, it's just like that. Pretty cool, to be honest. But we can put as a last thing here, we can try the gasket mount as is. So I just have to go into the board and take out the top mount screws and put the little gaskets. And I guess probably wrap it up after that, after we do that, and I'll show the way the board looks, and that'll be most of it, I think. I think I should have covered most of it after that. Okay. I wonder if GAT's deep ping would make for a good spacebar switch, like a softer sounding full travel switch. I think that sounds nice to have around. I don't really see how it would be bad, right? I don't have any around though, deep pings. I had some for like a build, but I don't have any anymore. Tried them only once for somebody else. So I think the gaskets are flat side down. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Because of the way the this surface is. Uses these soft silicone gaskets, like dot or point gaskets, sort of. Alex has had a few switches done, right? Like he has done the Obscura recolors, I think. And then there's been these guys, right? I don't know if he did any others. I don't think so. I think that was it. I think those are the only two that were like strictly speaking named after him, or like a direct collab sort of thing. So let's put these guys on. So these guys go on the PCB side. On the PCB, like little hooks, tabs. I wonder if Mode will do another switch with them after their redesign. Maybe. I mean, Alex seems to be doing pretty well with keyword stuff. So, you know, he's been pretty prolific. I mean, he's been doing switches. There's been, of course, the Manta, which is the Bull collab keyboard that he did. So yeah, I would imagine there would be more to come in the future. I mean, I don't know if it will be soon, but he's certainly, I think he's been doing pretty well with regards to that. Okay. Okay. That makes me wonder, you ever made a switch? No, not really. I'm not that interested, I guess, because I already like Cherry MX and Gadron switches like the way they are, so I've never felt like the strong need to really like get a switch made to a spec that I want it, you know? So it's like I already know what I like, sort of thing, so I never really felt a strong need to like reach out to someone and be like, hey, can you make a switch that's exactly this? Yeah. And it's not like we have had that many switches that are like super close to what like Cherry switches are like, right? So yeah. Good time zone friends, take care. High flow Chuck Spout SQ. Take care, take care. Time to make cherry yellow with great springs. How about the I mean, you know, maybe you steal some thunder for the people who really like the Gat yellow spring sort of thing, and just do like cherry yellow with Gat yellow spring like spring. With that like similar feel. That said, I don't really trust Cherry to make awesome strings, to be honest, though, so maybe not. I don't know. Not. I can't really say I would be like, whoa, yeah, Cherry springs are so good. Oh, hello, Naktam, Mr. Matt, hello. What are you doing? Oops. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's type on this one last time. Alright, now we got gasket mount. So still the Cherry Nixie on the spacebar. Okay, so Cherry Nixie will stay on the spacebar for now. Alright. We have carbon fiber plate and granites on this main part of the board, so you'll hear granites, and then when I do the numpad, you'll hear Nixies. But the spacebar right now has a Nixie on it. So granites, Nixie on spacebar, carbon fiber, and gasket mount. Alright, here we go. Sucks to admit that this sounds better. Rip top mount. I think, yeah, I think this sounds a little bit more consistent throughout. Maybe it's just the spacing of the mounting. It's just like a little bit worse off in top mount, I feel. Perhaps, but both sound pretty good. Like similar enough and pretty solid, in my opinion. I think they sound pretty good. All right. Grants, alright. Too muted for me. That's fair. They're on the more muted side for sure. If you really like you know, louder switches out there. But the mounting position for the top is yeah. I do think like the spacebar position especially was kind of like far apart, especially for a 65 spacebar. It sounded like the spacebar was just kind of like sinking. So I mean, you don't feel it, but the sound kind of felt like that for sure. Okay, I'll go through the mods and stuff this time. So for the granites first. And then this part is gonna be Nixies, but actually the arrows are still granites. And then now you have Nixies over here. What's up with the spacebar? Oh, we replaced with a Nixie on it instead of the granite switch. I mean, I can put the granite switch back on here. Hey, Plastic Bits. Hello, how's it going? Also, what do you say, Drew? What are your thoughts on giga big pads, like slightly bigger than tiny even? What? Pads? For PCBs? Aren't McLovin pads bigger than the rest, mostly? Like the old McLovin ones? I remember the McLovin ones being pretty large, surface area-wise. McLovin has a bigger hole physically too, which is no way. Oh, that's true. They do have large pads and large through hole. I'm personally whatever on larger pads, like as in it's easier. It makes it easier because it conducts heat more, and it'll adhere to the pad more easily. I prefer not smaller than Heine's, like switch pads though, probably. Regular hole and large pad? I would say yeah. This sounds good on gasket actually. Let me try this. Yeah, this sounds actually pretty nice with the gasket mount, but the top mount is kind of underwhelming. The granite switch for the spacebar. So I would say like for the gasket mount, this board I think sounds a little nicer on gasket mount. It's a little bit more consistent. Is Heine same size as AI03? No idea. Don't remember. Need to look at it side by side, I think. Doing skincare? Been breaking out a little bit this summer. You can really hear the scratch on the 0 key. Yeah, some of the 2Us didn't sound like that. I mean, also, I'm using cherry clip-ins, so they can sound a bit scratchy. The sun fucking picas? Yeah, pica mucho, for sure. Speaking of pica, I want some pica fresas, Kupo. So badly. I would love some pica fresas right now. With some chamoy. Oh. Damn. You know what's up. Kupo knows what's up. Oh, so good. I love chamoy. If you don't know what chamoy is, you should look it up. It's delicious. Alright. So this is the Athena 1800 keyboard by KBDfans. You can take a look. That's what it looks like from the top. This is the side profile. Side profile is kind of neat. You know, it kind of looks like this has a separate piece almost, but it's like it's just this like cut like this. The way they cut it like this, looks pretty nice. Gives it a nice look with the shade, with the shadow on it. But pretty nice side profile. I think this looks like 7 or 8 degree typing angle, so moderate steepness. I actually like the USB port here. I think USB port here makes sense. It's a nice position for this layout, in my opinion. I think this position for the USB port is pretty nice for 1800 layout. But yeah, back is sort of like, you know, like this, flat here, incline over there, or rather like it's like a big chamfer almost. And then yeah, that's the side again. Front height seems fairly low, pretty decent. And yeah, the back is like brushed steel. I actually really dig this look, this brushed steel look. I love brushed steel in general. I think it looks so sleek. It can look a little tacky, depends on how you do it, but in this particular board, it looks nice. Yeah, bump-ons are just regular adhesive silicone pads. The rest is just kind of engraved. But I like it. Yes, the brush steel actually is aligned to the direction of the eyes. Like this is perfectly lined up with this direction. I think this is very tasteful. This is done really nicely. Yeah, had it been any other way, it would look off for sure. Yeah, they did play with their lines pretty nicely. I think this is nice, and the concentric circles on the black aluminum accent. Honestly, pretty nice. And even with this being a colored accent, it doesn't look that bad. It's white here, like with the LED blocker and the screen, but it's not bad. It looks good. I think Dracula was like the perfect pick for this board, actually, with the white. Looks great. So whoever suggested it at first, great choice. Great choice. This is what it looks like on the side view here. Obviously the reflection makes it look a lot brighter than it really is in real life. And so you can kind of see what it looks like there. So yeah. Okay. So I guess that's pretty much all I got for the night. Let's wrap things up over here. Okay. This is almost the colorway I got. This was a fun stream. Oh, yay! That's good. I'm glad. Considering that you've also seen so many streams, Mr. Kupo, I feel like you would get bored sometimes of this stuff because it's like the same old, you know? So I appreciate it. What's in the timeline before you go? Oh yeah, sure, I can tell you. So I do have, actually the timeline's kind of busy. So Coming up, I think next for review boards, I have a Solar 80, which I believe Alex reviewed. It's a top mount TKL. So I have a silver Solar 80 to review, or showcase rather, which I think Alex and Random Keeps, is that right? Random Keeps reviewed or showcased recently. That finally got to me, so I get to show that. And then in coming weeks, there is the Neo 65 Core Plus, the Tofu TKL. There is a commission. There's like a one-off commission. I didn't do it. Like, it was another maker. Yeah, sorry, a community person commissioned a designer to make this one-off board, which they are getting to me and getting all the parts for, and I'm gonna be just building for them basically. So they're just, I'm just being asked to build because I'm like local. There's like a commission build coming up soon for a client. I have also a Marici 500 cm TKL build to do. And I think that's currently on the timeline immediately. Later in the month, I believe, Arslock wanted me to build a new round board for the Fossil. The Fossil is the full size from Carolina boards, Arslock's Fossil. That's a full size board. I think he wanted to run a new round for that soon, and asked me to build a unit. I think that's towards the end of the month, but I haven't received any news since then, so still waiting on that. And lastly, I think the Bloody Easy designer board recently that he also was gonna send soon, and I should be building that soonish. But more news on that once it arrives. Until then, I don't know. I can say the same of you building so long. Yeah, that's true. But I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it. Like, I'm like Patty, I like, what I really enjoy is like the building aspect itself. Like, just putting things together with my hands and talking to people at the same time. It's kind of like double fun. That's the fun for me, even if it's repetitive. You interested in 40s? I like 40s. Well, in fact, my partner really likes 40s and ergo and ortho and that kind of stuff. All the wacky stuff that I don't really use because I have skill issue, she is capable of using. So if 40s come my way, she gets to try them all. So when I got to try the Altair, the AIO3 board, she was like, "Oh, why don't you get to keep it?" I'm like, "Cause it's a review and I have to return it." But the Alice Duo, the QK Alice Duo, she uses that for as her main board. So she's into the ergo, ortho, small form factor kind of stuff. Although I think even if it's 40s, tends to not go too far deep in terms of like lacking like a lot of the keys and stuff like that, because kind of slows it down, the workflow. But yeah. But so you basically build it and she reviews it? Yeah, stamp of approval, Also, I don't have as much skill issues, so yeah, it's a legitimate stamp of approval. Or for example, when I talk about like, oh, it looks like this color, and someone asks me like, oh, does it look good in real life? I'm like, my partner said yes, so I would trust that opinion more than my own. Will your partner ever be on for a partner Q&A? If you come to a meetup, maybe you can ask questions. How about you just show up to a meetup and you'll get to meet both of us? Cause just so you know, she came with me to a few meetups. New York meetup, Providence meetup, KeyCon. So Mr. Kupo, your chance for a Q&A lies at the meetup. So you better show up. Yes, Kim knows. Kim actually met her. So if you wanna meet my partner, you gotta pull up. The only way. The legit way. IRL. Seoul as well. Yes. She came with me to Japan and Seoul. I mean, we were traveling Japan together, and then we went to Seoul meetup. So. Very nice and fun. I miss her. Oh. Do you hear that? Kim says that she misses you. I think she. Oh, maybe she might have noise canceling headphones right now. But I'll tell her. I'm gonna walk into a moving trade. No. Oh yes, noise canceling headphones because she's playing games and I'm obviously too loud. Yes. And it's also midnight, so. Okay, friends. Let's wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up. I don't think anybody is streaming keywords tonight, so I guess I'll just wrap it up here. But is there anybody to raid? Do you guys see anybody you know? Oh, you know, I see this random person whose name is Beth Doodle Cat, who is apparently building a keeper and then playing Rust, and the keeper looks like one of those OEM boards. OEM 60%. I think. I'm actually not sure what it is. Or there's Dash Ducks. Or do you guys remember Zergirl? She used to be around in the community for a little bit, but she plays StarCraft mainly. She's pretty big on StarCraft stuff, so we can also rate Zergirl as well if you know her. Maybe we will. Why not? StarCraft. All right, let's go. All right, friends. Take care, but I'll see you guys pretty soon for some more builds. Solar 80 this week, most likely. Maybe also the Mercy 500 CM. And I think the rest of the boards that I mentioned earlier, probably next week. So I'll catch you guys then. Okay? Take it easy. Good night and take care. Bye-bye.